they're scared of the government because the government actually has the worldwide government, should I say, the UN. They have this discussion where they talk about globalizing one bank and everything, and a lot of people are terrified of it. They're scared of it because even though, like in America, as you see in other countries, people will revolt and fight, and they'll go to the parliament or the prime minister and start throwing rocks or whatever, protest, sit. But in America, they won't do that. But they still have on one side they have the yearning to connect and be together, and at the same time they're terrified that if the government, they think the government is going to control that whole situation and that everything is just going to fall apart. But how will we be able to reach people that have that type of fear within their hearts? That they feel like, well, if I go this way, I'm down in the dirt, and if I go this way, I'm buried.
There are two things that act to promote a person. Suffering in the current state, so you feel you have to get out of whatever you have today. And that suffering gradually increases, and we're currently beginning to feel it very pressing. All kinds of places, it changes from place to place, but in the end, the bad is kind of approaching. On one hand. On the other hand, we have to know where to advance, what to do with ourselves. And here, there needs to be a method, a revelation of a certain purpose. I'm hoping that by discovering the purpose of human evolution, just as we said before about ancient Babylon, that humanity must come to a point where everyone is equal, everyone is interconnected, everyone are as brothers, because we come from nature, and nature is round, integral, global. The general force of nature is the force of giving, the force of love. It's like a mother who always takes care of everything. And we people, human beings, we are creating the whole of the imbalance in nature. Only people, not the minerals or plants or animals. They all exist naturally. However, nature, allows them, grants them powers. And we're the only ones who are evil, who want to harm others. We're the only ones who enjoy stealing. We feel pleasure from causing pain to others, from having other people suffer. So people are the only bad thing, evil thing in nature. So that awareness, that sensation that we're causing the problems in ecology and politics and education and culture. And you're talking about the World Bank and the UN. It's certain that nothing's going to help unless we understand, and that's why we will understand that we have to be connected. Troubles on the one hand, and evolving towards a global form, whether we like it or not, on the other hand. And the dissemination of Kabbalah, which we're trying to do, which explains why evolution is like that, to bring us into balance and harmony and homeostasis with the rest of nature. All of that should eventually affect the world. And I personally am very hopeful that a world government will rise, and a world society and a world bank, and everything will be global, but in a very proper, balanced, good way. So first of all, we will learn from nature the kind of integration we have to create, and then realize that law gradually and slowly and apply it to the rest of humanity.
This is like a revolution that has never taken place then. We've had revolutionary situations where big drastic change, and you always had like a certain character of people. You had the revolutionary who wanted rapid change now, and then you had maybe you had the person that, well, we can change, but we have to move really slow. I'll be fine. And then you have the other person that says, let's go back to the way we used to be.
Yeah, that's true. Well, here it's different. As you said, here there has to be a revolution that's unprecedented. A revolution of transcending our nature, where we become like the rest of nature, giving, bestowing, loving, considerate, with the whole of nature, towards the whole of nature. Our problem is that people have suddenly began to feel that they're more than nature. There's nature, still vegetative and animate, and I'm allowed to do whatever I want. And that's the source of the whole problem. And now, as a result, we're taking blows. But we have to understand that we're an integral part, not above nature, but within it, in the general nature. And we have to create the general balance. And we have the power to do that. If we understand that we either face destruction or balance, then we'll have a beautiful life. Then I'm hoping humanity will understand it. I'm acting towards it, and I'm hopeful that it'll change this way. You're still young. You'll see it for sure.
I definitely would hope so.
But before, I don't want to cause you any worries. We're going to see a lot of pressures before that. And all of these problems have yet to intensify, including bigotry and hatred and remoteness and separation. And we're going to have to know.
Do these situations that of course have to take place, because as I guess if we've already said it in different ways, that you have to have two sides to something besides just one side to be like, oh, like I guess maybe with example, let's say example with struggle. If I don't feel no struggle, then I won't think of how good things could be. But my question is, does it have to be drawn out? Does it have to be really dramatic, like the crazy movies, Apocalypse in 2000, whatever?
No. I am very hopeful that the transition will be extreme but not dramatic. Extreme, yes. It has to be an internal revolution where a person has to rise to a different level of awareness. They have to rise above their current attitude towards life, where they see only how to use other people to their own benefit. You have to rise above religion and faiths and habits and, of our lives, so I can accept any other form of life as long as it's generally, shared and participated. And I think that this, you think, how can this be? Look at how many wars there are between religions and sects and factions and nationalities, and it can happen, and very quickly so, if we only bring to people and show humanity the plan of nature, so they will see that this plan is happening now.
So this is what's different about those revolutionaries. They could speak well and they could identify the problem, but they didn't have the medicine. They didn't have the cure. They could see the cure, they could see the wound, they could put a Band-Aid over it, but there was nothing that could actually cure. Is this what you're saying? So that would take, Dr. Lightman, that would take a drastic change in values. Like you said, it's okay for all these things that we see that are wrong, but it's all right. My whole neighborhood is getting shot up. The police are killing people. There's war going on, like there's troops in Afghanistan now and in Iraq, but it's okay. It's okay. Football's on tonight. So how will we bring this value change? I mean, this is drastic. We're talking about every form of media. We're talking about, every form of media, everything that we see.
No, we are at a special time, and it's going to happen from within our souls, from within our nature. There inside, we're already approaching such
When you say
degrees.
souls, though, what do you mean when you say souls? Do you mean, when you say soul, are you talking about man, what drives a man, his thoughts and his desires, or because when you say soul, I know.
What motivates a person? What moves him? That's what I mean. Now we're coming to a point where we will receive a different motivating force, a different motive power. It'll push us to an entirely different level, an entirely different dimension, a different dimension of life. We don't know that kind of life. It's coming, it's approaching, it seems like a catastrophe that's kind of looming, that uncertainty that is now kind of engulfing the world. But it's not so. We're now approaching a change of perception of where we are and who we are. And that's what's going to change things. There will not be terrible tragedies or terrible dramas. Nothing that comes out of human deeds. It'll come from nature as a new gene of human evolution.